Hello and welcome to 5.3 notes. We are writing linear equations in point slope form. Let's go through the point slope equation. We're going to have y minus y1 equals m and then x minus x1 in parentheses. Remember, we have a couple of things that we want to talk about. This is slope, that is the m. This is an actual x, so it is a number. So x number 1 is going to be a number, and y number 1 is going to be equal to a number as well. Okay, so when we have it at the end, we're going to have y minus a number equals a number for the slope. So let's say that's half times x minus a number or plus a number, and that's going to be our equation. Okay, so let's go ahead and start the first one. Right here I've written in the formula that we are using. It is point slope form. Here we're going to go ahead and we're going to identify which one is x and which one is y. So this one is x, this one is y. So as we work it through, remember that this is a minus sign. If you're going to mess up somewhere, that is usually the place that you mess up. We're going to say y minus 2. And the 2 right here is positive, so we're just going to leave it negative 2 because it asks us to put in the 2 for the y and bring down the negative or the minus sign. Equals, it says m is 5, so that's my slope. And then it says x minus 8. And my 8 is negative, so I'm going to put in a negative 8. Of course, when we put in a negative and a minus sign together, we get the plus plus smiling. So I'm going to have y minus 2 equals 5, and then x plus 8. And do the same thing over here. We have y minus y1 equals m, and then in parentheses x minus x1. So we're going to have y minus negative 4, because this one is my y, this one is my x, equals 2/5 x minus 3. Now we can't leave this minus a negative, so we're going to go ahead and simplify it as much as we can, which is y plus 4 equals 2/5 and then x minus 3 in parentheses. Okay, moving on to our next one, we want to graph the equation. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to identify what is x and what is y. So here we have our y, and remember our equation is y minus y. So the only way to get a plus sign in there is to have y minus a negative. So my 4 has to be a negative 4. And then over here, my equation is x minus x1. So the minus sign is still here, which means my x has to be a positive 3. And that'll catch you up if you're not being really careful. So now I'm going to go over positive 3 and down 4 and make my first dot. Then I'm going to look and I'm going to see, okay, what is my slope? Well, my slope is negative 2/5, remember, or 5/2. Remember, if we are looking at our slope, the 5 is going to tell us whether we're going to go up or down, and the half is going to tell us left or right. So, and this one is a negative, so that makes the 5 going down and the 2 going in a positive direction. So I would have a negative 5 over a positive 2. I could also have a positive 5, which would mean that the 5 was going up if the 2 were negative, because it would both land in the same spot. And a negative 2 would mean going to the left. So here I can't go down anymore, so I have to go up. So I'm going to count up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and backwards 2. And I like to have at least 3 points on here. 1, 2, 3. That would leave it way up here though, and that's a little awkward. So we're just going to use the 2 that we have. It's not a very straight line. We're going to use the 2 that we have and try and make it a really nice straight line between them going down. There we go, that one looks better. So that's how we go ahead and graph them. Now we're going to look at this one and we're going to write an equation of the line shown. First we need to find what the slope is. So we want to know our slope is how much we're going to go up versus how much we go over. Remember that's rise over run. Okay, so from this point we're going to go and see how many we went up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I went up 6 and then I went over 1, 2, 3. When I reduce that down, that's a 2, which must mean that I should be able to go up 2 and over 1. So up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, that one does work. So my m is 2. Now I can take my either one, so I could do -2, 3. Let's go ahead and do that one. So I'm going to have y minus y1 equals m, and then x minus x1. So that would be a y minus the 3, which is positive, equals my 2, which is my m, and then my x minus a -2, which of course we're not going to leave as minus a negative, we're going to end up with that as a positive. So y minus 3 equals 2 times x plus 2 is going to be final form. I could, of course, use these bottom ones as well. This would be my x, this would be my y. And if that were the case, I would say y minus -3 equals 2, because my slope is the same, even though I'm using the other point, x minus -5. So when I do that, I'm going to go ahead and put plus here and here. So y plus 3 equals 2 times x plus 5. Okay, the last example is to write an equation that of the line that goes through the 2 points. In order to do that, we first have to have a slope. And our slope is going to be given to us y minus y over x minus x. And I told you before, it won't matter which x and y as long as you use the same one at the same time. So let's go ahead and use this first. So I'm going to do -1 for my y minus from right here, and then -7. Once again, that's plus smiley. So my top number is going to be 6. Then I'm going to use the bottom slope, or the bottom part of the slope is the x. I started with the -1, so I have to start with the -4, minus from right here, and then the 6. So that's going to be a -10. Reduce down, that's going to be a negative. I'm going to divide it both by 2. So that's going to be a -3/5. So m equals -3/5. When I have that, then I can use either one to be able to write it out. So I'm going to do y minus the y. I'm using this one. It'll be y minus -1 equals my slope, which is -3/5, and then x minus -4. That final equation, after I do the plus here and here, is y plus 1 equals -3/5, and then x plus 4 in parentheses. If I did not want to do that one and I wanted to do the 6 and -7, I could do that as well. I would do y minus, and then my -7 equals my slope, which is -3/5, times x minus 6. 6 is positive here, so when it comes over, I don't have to do the plus, but the 7 is negative, so I'm going to do that. So I'm going to rewrite this one, y plus 7 equals -3/5 equals x minus 6. And that is in point slope form for both of them. Okay, that's it. You may jump into your homework. Make sure you ask questions if you have any. I will see you soon. Bye.